Hello everybody. Today's video is sponsored by graphicstock.com. With more than 350,000 images, graphicstock.com has the largest unlimited library of graphics, photos, vectors, and illustrations. This month, graphicstock.com is launching a new collection featuring thousands of new futuristic and dream-inspired images. These now all come with your subscription. Graphicstock.com is giving away 7 days so you can try it out and explore the new collection for free. Be sure to visit graphicstock.com/future or click on the link in the description box below to get started. On graphicstock.com, there is so many fun images you can use in your blog or on your scrapbooking pages, art journals, cards, anything that you want. So you can download them, print them out, and use them however you wish. So I'm just showing you here, you can browse. So I wanted to look for some butterflies, and then I decided I wanted to just see what the nature category had. And I love this image. I'm hopefully going to use it soon in a scrapbooking page. I just love that color. So as you can see here, they have scrapbooking images that you can print out as paper. So you can use them on cards or as scrapbooking paper, anything that you like. For today's video, I'm going to be creating an art journal page, and I am starting out with coloring my focal point for the page. And I got this image from graphicstock.com. So I downloaded this butterfly, and I will have a link down below to this specific butterfly that I downloaded if you wanted to print it out. I just printed it out on regular cardstock, and I am using some clear gesso just to kind of prep it and so that the printer ink won't bleed, because I'm going to be doing some coloring. So I'm using some Prima water soluble oil pastels. After the gesso had dried, I wet the butterfly with some water, and then I mixed together the magenta and a little bit of the black just to make it a little bit darker, because I want the outside of the butterfly to be a little bit darker than the center of the butterfly. So I'm just going to play some music while you guys watch the process. After all of the coloring dries completely, I'm taking this Signo Uniball gel pen and just adding some white to the butterfly. I wanted it to have a little bit of contrast between the dark pink and just to add a little bit more interest to the butterfly. So I'm using the pen to kind of outline some of the design on the butterfly. And again, I just think that it gives a little bit more interest to it instead of just all basically this pink purple color that I colored it. And I love this pen. It works so good on any type of medium. So I have this mixed media book from Prima. It is a wonderful art journaling book to have. The pages are really thick and there's a lot of them. I prep my page with gesso, clear gesso. You could use white gesso if you want. Um, and I'm using the silicone brush from Prima. It is the 1 inch. I should have used a 2 inch, but that's okay. I like it because it doesn't leave brush strokes on your page, and it could be just flat. So after that dries, I'm going to take this stamp, and this is a Prima stamp. The designer is IOD, which is Iron Orchid Designs. And I kind of curve the stamp and just randomly stamp it on the page. And I'm using Stays On ink. This is permanent. It won't bleed when I add the color to my page. And just randomly stamping. This kind of gives a little bit of texture in the background of the page, and without adding too much bulk, because you don't want too much dimension in an art journal, although I've done it before and you can if you want, but for the sake of this book, I'm hoping not to do too much bulk in this book. So now I'm adding some more texture with a stencil and some light paste. Again, I'm using the silicone brush. Light paste is a personal preference. I prefer it over modeling paste. Modeling paste is a little bit more heavier medium as opposed to light paste. It's airy and it's almost like fluffy, not Cool Whip, but like egg whites. Like if you were to fluff up, mix up egg whites, that's what it reminds me of. So I want the pattern on the full page. So I'm going to take it and add the light paste to the full stencil, and then carefully moving it over so I'm not smashing the pattern that I just did. You can wait for it to dry, but I'm so impatient. So if it gets a little messed up, I'm not too worried, but the stencil, the outer stencil part is very small, so it'll work pretty well to do this. So after that dries, now I'm going to add some color. And I put a paper towel in between the page that I'm working on and then the rest of the book, just so that I don't get too much color on the other pages. I'm using the Dragonfly Blue color from Prima Color Bloom Sprays, and I love this color. So I added a little bit of water to the page to begin with. This way the color will kind of flow a little bit nicer, and I want it to flow where it wants to. And then I use a paintbrush to add the color to the outside of the page. This way I'm not using too much spray and overspraying. I'm just putting the color where I want it. And then I'm helping the color kind of spread around with my paintbrush, and then I added more water. And this technique is really simple to do for any project, but I love doing this for my art journal pages. And so again, I'm just using my paintbrush to help it spread around, and then just kind of tilt the book back and forth, and then side to side, and then forward and backward. This way it could go where it wants. But I want the center of the book to be a little bit lighter, so I'm not adding letting too much of the blue to the center of the page. And then I add some color to the outside of the page, and then I'm just drying it with my heat tool. This way that intense color stays on the edge of the page. And this color is soft teal, and it's just kind of getting to its last little bit there, so it's a little hard to get out. But and then that way it's just light in the center. And then I'm adding some more color, the Dragonfly Blue, to the outside of the page. I'm kind of brushing it outwards to kind of give like an ombre effect to the page. You can even add black to the outside of the page if you wanted more darker color on the outside of the page. But after this dries, it's the perfect color for me. So after the Color Bloom spray dries, I'm going to be adding some splatters with some gesso, and this is white gesso, heavy gesso from Prima. and I water it down just a little bit. So I'm going to be adding it to an acrylic block and then kind of flicking it onto the page. You'll see in just a second what I'm talking about, but this creates really nice splatters on your page. And then because I'm using the gesso and not watering it down too much, it kind of gives a little bit of texture to the splatters. And if you don't want that, you can use a little bit more water with your gesso. Or also I like using the Frost Color Bloom sprays to add white splatters to my projects. But see, I kind of spread it out and then just kind of flicking it off. So really easy, and it just kind of gives a little bit more interest to the page. And I'm not worried if you know, there's bigger splatters or even like globs of paint, as what I kind of wanted was a little bit of you know, texture to my page, like I said. So after that dries, I am going to be adding my butterfly to my art journal page, and I wanted to add a little bit of shading or shadow behind the butterfly, just so it's kind of just not sitting there. So I'm using the Primo water or water soluble oil pastels, and this is just black. So I'm just adding it with some water to the kind of where the butterfly sits, just a little bit outside of the outline of the butterfly. So I don't want too much shadow or shading, just a little bit. So I think it gives a nice effect in the end. So I take my finger and just kind of blend it out just a little bit, so it's you know, it kind of blends with the page. And now I'm just going to add the butterfly to the page, and I'm using some Fabri-Tac, and then I kind of just put my heavy gesso tub onto the butterfly to let it dry, and so it dries flat because it kept wanting to curl up. I tried matte gel, it just kept wanting to curl up. I'm wondering if it's probably the Color Bloom spray, just didn't want to stick to it. So I'm taking the Signo white gel pen again and just kind of outlining my little phrase here. It's beautiful imperfection. And then I'm adding some more outlines to the butterfly. I really like how the white looked on it, so I just wanted to outline the whole butterfly. And that basically completes the project. Be sure to visit graphicstock.com/feature to get 7-day free trial, or click the link in the description box below. You guys won't be disappointed. There's so many fun images and pictures and things to use for all your projects on your blog and everything. I want to thank graphicstock.com for sponsoring this video, and if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I love all my subscribers, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.